What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video I'm going to talk about my final recommendations for Dark Dimension 5 on the patch 5.8. I think it's better to do these recommendations every patch so you get updated with each of them. And these recommendations will be without we knowing exactly the lane, but I think the characters that I recommend, they are overall good and they overlap with other game modes, so investing on them will not be a problem. And this is why I want to start and finalize my recommendations and start my investment on these characters, because they overlap with so many game modes that if I start to invest in them right now, they will bring a benefit to me in the different game modes where I'm using them. Okay, so if you like the information on this video, like always, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so let's get started, and hopefully Dark Dimension 5 will be released next week, and then we can finally take a look into each of the lanes. And I'm not only going to present you the characters that I think are going to be the best investment, I'm also going to present to you the order into which of the characters you should invest first. So whenever you start the Dark Dimension and with each of the lanes, you always be ready to continue. Okay, so the first lane will be the city lane. The first is the free-for-all lane. And that's why it's important to know the investments. But when you reach the city lane, you want to have this team ready to go. And the team is composed by Cloak, Dagger, then you have Symbiote Spider-Man next to Dagger. The offense up will benefit a lot to Symbiote Spider-Man. It will give him more healing from his drain from the passive, and the offense up will also give him more focus, so if you have to stun some character, the stun will more likely land. Then you have Shang-Chi is next to Symbiote Spider-Man because he is a little bit more tanky than Anti-Venom, and Anti-Venom will be on the corner. He can revive Symbiote Spider-Man, and he can heal the other characters, remove heal blocks, and he can also apply some positive effects to him and to the entire team with his ultimate. It's not super reliable, but sometimes you get some good buffs. The problem is that most of the times he only gives regeneration. But overall, this team has a lot of negative effects that you can extend with the Symbiote Spider-Man. You also have extra time to apply those negative effects with the turn rewind from Shang-Chi. You have several characters doing debuff removal. Dagger, she also removes heal block from the allies, so that's going to be very important for this team. And in case Symbiote Spider-Man dies, you can revive. Otherwise, Anti-Venom will have his cooldowns more often because he gives energy to himself. So that's going to be for the city lane. Now let's take a look at the global lane. And on the global lane, we have a few mutants, one tech character and two skill characters. I use 3 of these characters on the Doom raids. This is why I want to invest in them right now, because the investment will reflect right away on my Doom raid progress. And they are also very good on Alliance Wars, which is a very important game mode because of the gold that we get, and the currency from Alliance Wars allow us to buy teal gear from the store. Okay, so we start with the Silver Samurai. He has the defense up, applies offense down to the enemies, which helps a lot Captain America Sam Wilson. And he can also do a stun, and the stun is very, very important because of Mr. Sinister. It will help in case we are facing some Kestrel. We will stun Kestrel, and then we'll be able to summon and or clone and be fine. Then we have Lady Deathstrike. She's very, very cheap. She does turn rewinds, applies tons of bleeds to the enemies, which will lower their resistance in case we want to apply a stun or offense down or something like this. And overall, she's a a great damage dealer with a lot of survivability. Then we have Mr. Sinister. He is cheap, he provides tons of utility with his clone. Being able to clone anyone is incredible because you get so many more utilities out of it. With his ultimate, you can also remove heal block, which is something usually problematic with Mary Heal, and he also provides some buffs to the mutant allies. Then we have Mary Heal. She summons minions that can serve as decoys. They come with the death proof, so they will be able to at least take a few hits before they disappear. Then she can also clear positive and negative effects from the skill allies, and she can also apply defense down to increase the damage on the enemies. So it's a nice amount of utility, survivability and sustain. And finally we have Captain America Sam Wilson providing turn meter, providing more defensive abilities, deflects, defense up, and very important is providing energy. Energy is crucial for Mr. Sinister, so you can clone as many enemies as possible, and together with Silver Samurai you will have two characters with taunt that will allow you to more easily protect the clones. So that's my recommendation for the global line. A few of these characters, at least 3 of them, I'm using on the Doom raids. The others I'm also using on Alliance War, so they are very important, and that's why if I invest in them right now, they will give me some benefits instantly. Now let's go to the Cosmic Lane, and the Cosmic Lane is very controversial because there are so many good characters. It all comes down to how can we divide the costs to make this as affordable as possible. And I think this is the best way and the most affordable way in terms of costs. You have Cersei, the new Eternal. She is much better than Icarus. She has a lot of utility on her own. She doesn't really need Icarus for nothing. She will provide insane benefits to the team, once again even without Icarus, and because of that I think she is a must-have in any Dark Dimension team Cosmic Lane. She flips negative effects into positive effects. She has a stun that calls allies for assist, and those allies can apply negative effects to the enemies. And overall she's a very good character with a lot of survivability and sustain for her own, and on spawn she also provides defense up to the team, which is nice because it will allow us to save some of the cooldowns that we have with the other characters. Then we have Phyla-Vell, and Phyla-Vell is incredibly strong character. She can apply offense down to 2 enemies with her basic. She can give barrier to the allies, and this barrier will clear the negative effects that they have, and she can also buff the Infinity Watch allies, which in this team we have 2, and that will be plus offense up and plus defense up. And whenever Infinity Watch ally goes below 50%, she will give death proof to that ally, and that death proof will result in the character gaining 50% drain. This will be for any of the other characters, and except Kestrel, all of these characters can gain easily death proof, so all of them will have easy 50% drain. Then we have Kestrel. Whenever you apply negative effects to her, she removes, she applies defense down to the enemies, doing tons of damage to the enemies on her turn and outside of her turn as well, whenever a character with a defense down is attacked. So she has tons of survivability, she has tons of damage, and she also has tons of mitigation. If she is together with any Cosmic Hero ally, she also gets more HP, and we have a few of them in our team. Then we have Deadpool. Deadpool, she's a very interesting character. She has an ultimate that when staggered to 5 charges can delete any character on the field, and that's very useful for Dark Dimension. Usually there is always 1 or 2 enemies that are very annoying, and with this ultimate you'll be able to save the charges and use it whenever you need. With her other abilities, if she goes below 30% HP, I think She will give herself a death proof, and that will give a drain from the 5 level passive. She also has her own drain depending on how many charges she has. So if she has 4 charges, she will have 20% drain. And she also gives drain to Mystic allies, which in this case will be Cersei. So overall she's very strong and give us a lot of utility to remove complicated characters from the field. Then we have Moon Knight. Moon Knight can apply slow to the enemies for 2 turns. She can apply defense down to all enemies for 2 turns as well. She can give defense up and deflect with her special and to the entire team, and she can also give defense up and deflect to the Infinity Watch whenever they go below 50% HP, which is something interesting because thanks to the drain that we have, this trigger can activate quite often. With the slow that Moon Knight provides and the offense down that 5 level provide, we can spread that around to all enemies, or most of the enemies. It's adjacent enemies with Deadpool special, and that will be very strong in order to control the enemies. We cannot spread the stun from Cersei, but spreading the slow and the offense down will be extremely useful as it is. Okay, so now let's go to the most problematic lane, which is the legendary lane. There are a few characters that are must-have in terms of cost. Other characters also relevant in terms of cost, but not so much in terms of utility in the game right now. And only 3 of these characters are must-have. The other 2 are, once again, it's just the cheapest or most convenient characters that you can have. So we have Shuri. She gives defense up and provides energy, and she can also apply heal block to 1 target. She's not super useful, but she is the only tech character that have any relevance right now. So in terms of the legendary characters, you should hold as much as possible until the last second in order for you to invest on Shuri. The same goes for Invisible Woman. She is a cheap character, a cheap bio character that is convenient for us to use, and she provides a lot of utility on this team. And together with Dr. Octopus, she will have speed up, so she's not as bad as she usually is. Unfortunately, her cooldowns are a little bit too long, and it's true that we have slow from Jubilee, and we have some characters that provide speed up like Dr. Octopus, but it's not the most convenient way to play. There are a few hints that she might get reworked, because as it seems Kang is coming and he is somewhat related with the Fantastic Four, so maybe there is a chance for her to have a rework, but that's a huge speculation, and that's why I said you should invest in these characters last. And those are the 2 controversial options for the legendary lane. Now, characters that you definitely must have, not only in terms of cost but also in terms of utility, is Dr. Octopus, Jubilee and Omega Red. Omega Red is part of the best Alliance Wars offensive team right now, and in the future you'll see that he will have uses in other situations as well. Stay tuned for that. Then we have Jubilee. She's the most important mutant right now. She allows you to do the Doom raids with ease together with her astonishing X-Men team. Without her, the team doesn't work, so she's a fundamental gear there for the team to work. And Dr. Octopus is part of a strong Alliance Wars team. He also has some use on the Doom raids on the tech lane. He's not a must-have, but he helps quite a lot there. And he is a character that wherever you use him is quite useful, because he can extend the negative effects, can flip positive effects into negative effects on the enemies, can give speed up and deflects to your own team, and he also provides a nice amount of healing in a short cooldown. And plus he also provides with a decoy that sometimes can absorb big damage from the enemies. So those are all my recommendations in terms of which characters to use. I'm confident in all characters, in all 20 characters except these two here, Shuri and Invisible Woman, and that's why I said you should wait for last in order to invest in them. Only when you are exactly at the door to start the legendary lane you should consider investing in these two characters. Now let's talk about the order of gearing up these characters. So when you start the free-for-all lane of Dark Dimension, the lane where you can use any characters, you should use this team: Cloak, Mystic, we have Lady Deathstrike as a tech, then we have Symbiote Spider-Man as bio, then we have Shang-Chi as a skill, and then we have Silver Samurai as a mutant. So like this you have a diverse team, and it will ease up on the costs, and you don't have to wait for too long. With the Symbiote Spider-Man, he requires alien spores, and you also need them for anti-venom, and this is why you want to invest in Symbiote Spider-Man first. So while you are doing the free-for-all nodes, you can collect more alien spores for anti-venom. So that's the first team you want to invest, once again, for the free-for-all nodes. When you are about to start the city nodes, you want to invest in this team: Mr. Sinister as your mutant, Dagger as your mystic character, then we have Captain America Sam Wilson as your skill character. Then we have Kestrel as a hybrid tech and a skill. Because Captain America, he doesn't require too much gear, it will be fine to invest in Kestrel at the same time. And you want to start to invest on your cosmic characters a little bit. And finally we have Anti-Venom as your bio character. So like this you'll finalize your 5 characters for the city lane, and it will give you a jump start for the global lane, and also 1 character for the cosmic lane. Now when you are about to start the global lane, you want to finish Mary Hill first, then you want to do Phyla-Vell as your bio character, you want to do Deadpool as your mystic character, and then you want to start to invest on your legendary characters. The legendaries that have priority is Omega Red and Dr. Octopus. And once again, this is when you are starting the global lane. When you are starting the global lane, you want to invest in these characters. So you have the easiest progress throughout. Okay, and finally, when we are starting the cosmic lane, this will allow you to, at the point you start the cosmic lane, you are also ready to start the legendary lane. When you are starting the cosmic lane, the last characters you want to invest is Cersei as your mystic character, then you have Moondragon as your skill character, then you want to invest in Jubilee as your mutant character, and finally, and if there are no updates until the next patch, you want to invest in Shuri as your tech character and Invisible Woman as your bio character. Once again, this is for you to have the easiest time in terms of investment, and always have a diverse investment so you don't struggle too much on missing mystic gear or missing bio gear or something like this. And now just a quick recap just to see that what I was saying in terms of the cost. So for bio characters you have 234 mini uniques. For the mutant characters you have 234 as well. For the mystic characters you also have 234 mini uniques. For the skills characters you have a little bit more, 252. And finally for the tech characters you have 216. So this is very powerful teams that have a lot of utilities, have a lot of tools to deal with different problems, and once again, like I said, it also overlaps with characters that you are using for the Doom raids. So City Lane, Cloak, Dagger, Symbiote Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, Anti-Venom. Global Lane, Silver Samurai, Mary Hill, Captain America Sam Wilson. Lady Deathstrike and Mr. Sinister. Then for the Cosmic lane we have Moondragon, Cersei, Deadpool, Kestrel and Phyla-Vell. And finally for the Legendary lane we have Omega Red, Jubilee, Dr. Octopus, and if no other options will be available until then, we have Invisible Woman and Shuri. So yeah guys, those are my recommendations for Dark Dimension 5 for the patch 5.8, and you can start your investment if you think it's also going to help you for the Doom raids as well. And you can start your journey through Dormammu, a character that is definitely going to change the game. So if you like the information on this video, like I said before, share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.